Welcome back to the Swashbuckles.
Hey!
Halloween edition.
Say it's not Halloween edition yet.
It was more of my voice.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Swashbuckles. Today, we are bringing you along for a not-so-fun story time. But just a little insight of what our last week has been. It has been insanely busy. It has been eventful. It has been painful. It has been sad. There's been good. There has been bad. But did I just rhyme? Did I just rhyme? Anyway, this week we're going to take you along with what transpired over the last week with Sariah's ankle. If you follow Chantel on Facebook, you notice that there's been many posts made about Sariah's ankle and the injury that we have sustained this past week. And we're just going to bring you along for what happened this past week. So here's the story.
Sariah finally had the nerve to serve. And she was on fire. She was doing so good. She aced twice.
She did. And upon the second serve, going over the net, this happened. We'll zoom in on it for you. This happened. And she immediately fell to the ground. And at first, we kind of just thought that she fell over.
I did not.
No, she tried to run over, and I told her to wait to see if she could stand up on it, and she could not stand up on it. So Chantel ran over, and pretty much immediately she had a golf ball in her ankle. It was pretty immediate. As soon as we got over there, it was pretty much a golf ball in her ankle. So the athletic director, fortunately, was right on top of it to go get ice. While we kind of pulled her off the court, got her shoes off, kind of started to look at it to see what was going on. Didn't want to leave right there in the middle of the game. Sariah wanted to stick around and watch the team finish the game. So we got her on the bench and with some ice, and she was pretty embarrassed that she fell from a jump, but she was in good spirits with her team. So so after the game was over, we carried her out because she couldn't walk on it. She couldn't put any pressure on her ankle. We got home, and that was kind of our initial checkout of kind of what we were dealing with, what we thought, what was going on. Hands down, I mean, it was swollen. There's no doubt that we did something. We were kind of praying that it wasn't a break, that it was maybe just sprained, but the swelling was pretty severe. So we were kind of worried on what we might be looking at. So we immediately dropped her off at home. We jumped back in the car. We went to Walmart.
Yep.
We grabbed crutches. We grabbed some braces. We grabbed
Pain reliever
stuff. Some bandage, like the ACE bandage stuff, so that we could wrap her foot and kind of keep it compressed. And we tried to send her to school the next day just to see. We wanted to wait a few days before we really took her to the doctor because I didn't know if it was worth an x-ray, if all it was a sprain and they were just going to tell me, hey, put ice on it, keep it compressed, elevate it. Rather than having to spend the money on the x-ray, I figured
we also had other parents at the thing that saw the same thing that we saw, have experienced something like this, and they were like, just ice it. Take care of it at home. It's probably not as serious, but we had a couple of people that were there that was like, just this is how you should handle it. So it wasn't just do we really need to? We had other people that witnessed it. That the coach and the athletic director didn't even know what happened until I sent her the video the next day, and she's like, "That's what happened." They thought that she just lost her footing. So it was a little bit more serious than what some people realize, but it wasn't as serious as it looks to some people who don't really know what they're looking at with that. So just want to clarify some of that. Yep.
So the next morning, like I said, we were just going to try to wait it out for a couple days and see if the swelling got worse, if it bruised worse, kind of what was happening there. So we sent her to school with crutches. The school did not like that.
And she was at school for 4 minutes, and I got a phone call, and I knew by the time, like, oh, did she get to school on time? Like, did she fall? That was my biggest concern. Did she fall on her crutches first thing in the morning? No, unfortunately, the county law or the county rules are that you're not allowed at school with any kind of ailment help without a doctor's note. So with that being said, I was like, okay, I guess I got to leave work and come get her. She's like, no, not necessarily. But the only other option would be to have her sit in IRS and, do schoolwork in a stationary position. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not leaving my kid in school in detention just for funsies. So I was capable of getting off work. I was able to go pick her up and get her home, and immediately, actually, instead of coming home, we just went right to the urgent care, got a doctor's note, got everything taken care of, and with all of that, we also got the x-rays done that we were questioning if we needed.
Yep. So I was at work when she went to the doctor. Fortunately, she was able to go take her to the doctor. So doctor did the x-rays, checked it all over. That she said that she didn't see anything really that we should be worrying about. She said as far as she can see, that it wasn't broken. There was no fracture in place, that she thinks it was just a sprain. Is it a radiologist? Is that the other person that...
The x-ray tech.
The x-ray tech? Isn't that what a radiologist is?
Maybe.
Okay. Either way, the x-ray person also agreed with the doctor saying that, she didn't... Yes,
it was a radiology report.
She didn't see anything either, that in her opinion that she did not see a fracture, that she thinks it's just a sprain. So they told us to do the RICE method, which RICE is rest, ice, compression, and elevate. And she told us to do that, probably looking at a recovery time of 2 to 4 weeks. She gave us a doctor's note for crutches for 2 weeks, said that we may not need the full 2 weeks on crutches, but she's given it to her just in case it does take a little bit longer to heal. So we were able to bring her back to school the next day with a doctor's note. They had no issue, giving her, they have what they call an elevator pass. So when you have, the assistant devices like crutches, wheelchairs, knee scooters, anything like that, they give you a elevator pass that allows you to go up and down on the elevator, so you don't have to climb the stairs in crutches or climb the stairs like that. You get an elevator pass. So they were able to give her that, and long story short, Sariah hates the crutches. And we were 2 days after the incident.
I don't think we've gone a whole 24 hours with her fully using these crutches the way she is supposed to.
Well, within 2 days after the incident, she was already trying to tell us that
I'm better.
There was no pain. She had no symptoms there. She could walk on
I
it
can
if
play
she
my
wanted
game
to.
on Monday, right, Mom?
So right here is the bruise picture of when she said she was perfectly fine. So obviously, bruise is pretty nasty. And we were not. We told her that she needed to stay off of her foot completely on crutches, at least for a week, and then we can assess that situation from there. Like she said, I don't know that Sariah was really ever off of her foot more than 24 hours.
She admitted it to me. I said, have you gone a full 24 hours? Nope.
So
loud and proud.
Now, again, it is awesome to know that she's able to put weight on it, that it doesn't hurt her, that things are healing that fast, and I am not complaining about that whatsoever, but this child has put us through so much stress this week, just not staying off of her foot. And we've just walked into her room, and she's just walking around.
Dancing around.
So I wouldn't say dancing. I don't think I saw her dance.
That's what she was doing the other day when I went in. Granted, she was hopping on one foot and doing it.
Yes, I didn't.
She'd been
I didn't
dancing
see
around.
her dance. However, she has been walking around on it. So now we're still going to all the volleyball games. Sariah hangs out on the bench with the team. She still supports the team. She's still on the team. She does not go to practices currently, but we're at all the games, and fingers crossed that she will. This week we are still not playing, but there's a potential that she may be able to play the very last game. I don't know if she'll be able to play the 2 last games, though it just got moved a day back, so now it's a Wednesday and Thursday instead of a Tuesday, Thursday, so might give us just a little bit of extra few days to just see what's happening. But we're just about to the point to where I think that she's going to be off crutches and actually starting to walk normal again. We're going to go a few days of her walking normal just to see how it feels. No stress, no pressure on the ankle at all, but just to see what she feels walking, and then we can kind of ease our way back into practice and see how that feels. And if we don't get healed enough in time to play the last game or two of the middle school season, we have the travel ball season coming right up behind it, and that starts first week of November. So worst case scenario, if she misses out on the middle school season, then we're going to be pretty much healed up and ready to rock and roll for the travel ball season. So really, really happy about that, and really glad that, as bad as it looked, it is just a sprain and that she's already feeling no pain, and I love to hear that. So, I don't ever want to be upset that she is not in pain.
I'm not trying to be upset, but it also really sucks relying on her word that she's not feeling anything.
Yeah.
Because she is so antsy in her pantsy to get back out on the court, and the worst case scenario is we let her go out a little too early, and then she does get hurt, and then what? Yeah. So, with that being
I love
said,
seeing the passion, and I love seeing her itch to get back on the court, because she knows that she's got what it takes to be out there and to do it. So that's super awesome. But yeah, it's been a week, and
we've been so distracted that we almost forgot today is Tuesday. So
it has been such a busy week, and there's been so much going on. And along with this week, my brother actually drove over from Titusville, and he came into town, and he convinced us, me and my mom, to run a 5K with him.
I was at work.
And so he messaged me Thursday night and said, "Hey, Matt, I'm going to come into town. Will you run a 5K with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, if you want to do a 5K, I'll do a 5K with you." Then my mom decided to do it. My dad said, "Nope, I'm good." And he's like, "I'll be at the finish line to cheer you on." So here's our picture of our 5K. It was a haunted Halloween 5K. Now, it was nothing haunted. It was just wear a costume and come run a 5K. And I'm going to say about 25% of the people actually wore a costume. Nala's in the background being crazy. But so this was our little costume. We all got Superman shirts, and we all got glasses, and we ran the 5K together as a family. So it was super cool, and I was definitely sore Sunday and Monday, and yeah, I'm good today, but Sunday was a little trying to get out of bed was like sucked. But yeah, it was so awesome. So it was super cool to have my brother in town, and now that he lives over here, we get to see him a little more often, and we're actually headed over to his side of the coast in 2 weeks here, next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, to go to SeaWorld and go see Howl-O-Scream on the SeaWorld side. So definitely stay tuned for that video. It'll come a couple of weeks when we head out to Orlando. It's going to be Sariah and Ray's first time at Howl-O-Scream, and this is the SeaWorld edition, so it's not the normal Tampa one that we have always gone to. This is a new one for all of us, and it's a whole different set of haunted houses, a whole different park, so we're just super excited to see kind of how SeaWorld does Howl-O-Scream and go have a little weekend in Orlando. So Nathaniel's going to join us for that one too, and stay tuned for that one. But don't forget to stay tuned for the Nature Moment of the Week. That's coming right up here in just a minute, so make sure you check that one out, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
All right, guys, our Nature Moment of the Week this week is the armadillo. Though there are 20 known species of armadillos ranging in all sizes, this in particular one is the 9-banded armadillo, which is the only species found in the United States. These guys are pretty impressive. They are super good swimmers, and they're actually able to hold their breath for several minutes to walk on the bottom of streams and rivers. And on land, they're able to jump up to 5 feet in the air. And sometimes, these 9-banded armadillos can give birth to 4 genetically identical quadruplets, all of the same sex, from just one fertilized egg. These guys are nocturnal, meaning that they are more active at night, They spend most of their days sleeping in burrows, sometimes up to 16 hours. Well, hey guys, thanks for hanging out with us on another episode of the Swashbuckles. We hope you enjoyed this week's video. We'll see you next Tuesday for another Swashbuckle adventure.